Hey, this is DIFF Recap while driving home number 5? 6?
6, yeah.
Right?
We missed, when I say missed, we did not go to 2 nights of DIFF, but we went to 75% of the nights of DIFF.
Yeah.
6 out of 8.
Yeah. In the one night was just the opening.
Right.
One film.
We weren't going to go to Dude Perfect. We were not going to go to Dude Perfect.
I hope everyone who went to Dude Perfect had a really good time.
Look, I hope they threw balls really high up and they went into all the holes they needed to go into.
And everyone was like, dude, that's perfect.
That is perfect. That's the whole fucking thing, right? It's just
right?
and then we took one night off just because we're getting up there. It's not like we're not spry young chickens anymore that can.
Yeah, this is true.
And it was a Monday. We'd also kind of busted ass Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
Needed a little bit of. I mean, even God rested in one day, right? I mean, so
on the 8th day.
On the 8th day, man created greed. Yes, and bad, somewhat pseudo lesbian film noir heist movies. But
was it a lesbian movie though?
Only time will tell.
I guess so.
Or
we'll retcon it later on.
Right.
And it'll turn out to be one of these LGBTQ lost films that we will.
Have you guys seen On the 8th Day? Such a powerful
progressive,
message.
Way ahead of its time.
So much good lesbian stuff in there.
Yeah. And these aren't your typical lesbians. They're super fucking hot.
They're ridiculously hot.
Like crazy.
And they
hot.
also have heterosexual sex, which, which is not, I guess, on top.
They just don't discriminate.
Right.
Because like Kevin Smith said,
they just need a good deep dickin'.
Wow.
And it's finished, folks. DIFF is done.
DIFF is done.
With that dick joke.
Yeah.
About
that
lesbians.
was it. All right.
Which, kind of fits because we saw a lot of dick tonight. We saw a good amount of naked male penis, which, again, I applaud.
It wasn't even a Bakshi film.
It wasn't. They weren't animated. They were just mostly there.
There's also, lots of swinging dick and challengers, too.
True, not of the main characters.
We'll talk about that later, but we did say no, right? Not of the main characters, but yeah.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know. Should I say? Do I really think that more men should show their penises? I would say, as a society and as a country, we should not shy away from penis on screen. I think it's time to pay equal service
to
the naked male body.
Right.
But I will say that it's a different beast, I guess. From a perspective of just visual flair, it's just, I think, and also I think, from what I understand, I've done a lot of research on this. I've dug deep, just fucking gotten into it.
You spent some time in the archives?
Of, you can wear prosthetics and make your penis look like something it's not, and again, I don't care, whatever. I mean, whatever, I would say, go the Eric Stoltz route. He doesn't care. He just shows his dick every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it's fine. Ewan McGregor, penis out everywhere, right? Nary a roll that his dick isn't out, basically.
Right.
You should see the Phantom Menace cut.
You think that's a lightsaber?
He's definitely using the Force. So anyway, I don't know. I don't know where we fall on the great dick debate, but I say if you're comfortable showing your dick, show your dick.
Yeah, well, look, I think we don't need to be prudish about this.
Right.
Kevin
Bacon. Kevin Bacon will throw his dick out everywhere. Right.
It's just we've gotten so used to, this is what we look at, this is what nudity is on screen, that we're just oh my God, is that a penis? That's terrible. Why is that such a, I don't know. I don't get it. Because it doesn't, we all love boobs.
I think
on
it's
TV,
just
right?
so look, and I'm not, I don't know. I just don't think it's aesthetically pleasing for most of the time, right? And it's also very kind of in your face, kind of
also we're two like cis straight white dudes.
Right.
I mean,
No, I understand. I understand that the penis is not for me. Right. I get that it's not intended for my enjoyment. I understand.
And movies are for everyone.
And for those people who do get have enjoyment with the penis, then I'm all we should give them what they need. Right. I get that.
Right.
But I'm just saying in general terms, like we're very rarely seeing a nicely sculpted like David-esque penis that's just kind of like all contained and it's not moving around and the pubes are carved well.
Right, carved well. Yeah.
Like
out of alabaster.
Right. Animated dicks can sometimes be I don't know, aggressive. It's just an aggressive visual.
It's just flopping in your face.
Right.
No, I understand.
So the first film we saw tonight was called Desire Lines.
And it was not what we thought it was going to be.
Right, so the synopsis was a narrative film about an Iranian-American trans man time traveling through archives, which I completely thought was, oh, cool, we're going to see a time travel movie.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
right. Even on the way here, you're like, I'm a sucker for time travel
I'm a sucker
movies.
for good trans time travel movies, like, and just time travel movies in general. But like, this is not. I mean, time did progress from when it started to when it ended,
and we see him like going back in time in a weird way.
Yeah, but
like all of a sudden he's in these different places. But no. I mean, it's not really a time travel movie.
But this is it was billed as a narrative. It's definitely a documentary. I thought the documentary aspect of it, although it wasn't really focused, I did think that those conversations. I wish the movie had focused on those conversations.
Right.
Because the conversations that we saw were actual trans men, and talking a lot about how.
Well, these are trans men who. Not all of them have had bottom surgery.
Right. Most of them probably haven't.
Most of them haven't. But so they're trans men who identify as gay men.
Right. So they're trans gay men.
Right.
I don't know if that's I'm using the. I mean, like, but that's the idea.
They're female to male and identify as gay men.
Right. So they're having sex with other men, right? I mean, and usually cisgendered, or not, I mean, cis
gay.
Yes, cis gay men. Sorry, yes.
No, I trip up on the terminology all the time. And I mean, it's not in our everyday lexicon. And so I think we're going to trip up.
Right. And so the story kind of focuses on this one Iranian trans male who's working at this archive for some sort of nebulous reason. We don't really know.
We know it's a personal. He said he was like, my reasons are personal here, and like that was kind of it. Right. So he's researching stuff, but we don't know if he's like exactly why.
It's weirdly tied into the era of Corona. I don't.
The parallel with AIDS,
right. Which is a weird parallel. Like I don't really enjoy that. I don't think that tracked at all. Like, I don't think
you don't enjoy.
Right, I don't enjoy
about like death and like over.
No, I feel like it was. I feel like that was an insult to what the 80s AIDS crisis.
Right. I tend to agree with you.
I just feel like it's a weird analogy to make.
Do you think that that part felt almost like obligatory on the filmmaker's part? Where they were like, well, if I bring this up, I have to talk about AIDS? No. Like, if I talk about Lou Sullivan, I have to talk about AIDS, and then, we're filming this, around COVID, so I have to make that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels kind of like they thought they had to do both of those things, and I don't think you had to.
No, I don't think you had to either, because the story already existed where you have these these trans men who are coming to what they call body euphoria at a certain point, dealing with different stages of transition. And if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. I don't really know what the stages are, but I mean, I know there's different types of transitions for everybody. I guess everyone's transition is different.
I would imagine, right? Yeah.
But there's this talk about how there's a fear of contracting AIDS as a trans male, and that then you have a medical issue because most medical professionals are going to treat you as females because you still have you still have female genitalia in some cases, and so it's
and that you're having heterosexual sex, which
right.
And so they're like, no one's talking about this with them,
right.
So they're not considering, you're having. I mean, which you should talk about that anyway, right? Like, I mean, as a health professional,
yeah,
you should be bringing that up to everyone, right? So
right, regardless of.
But that's still, yeah.
So there were a lot of interesting conversations with these men and their own journeys and their own figuring out their own sexuality that I thought were really good.
Yeah.
But those stories are not focused in this film, and the narrative that's trying to wrap around in this film, it just kind of detracts from everything. Like it just, I don't know, it seemed like it undercuts the actual stories that are on the screen.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this in between films, but the film also still depicts homosexual male sex as somewhat seedy, and you see a lot of stuff taking place in like in bathhouses, but the bathhouses are filmed in kind of like a dark, dank, like almost it just feels kind of grotesque the way that it portrays it. And it's a really bizarre filmmaking choice to not kind of celebrate the sexuality. If you're going to even show that, right, then celebrate the sexuality in a much more positive light rather than kind of putting it under this shroud of shame, which I know that some of these men might feel in their journeys at some point, but none of the people that they really talked to had that sort of experience, or at least spoke to that experience. So
at least not in the point that they're being interviewed about it.
Right. And the story, the narrative of the Iranian American had an interesting point as well, in that they're talking to a younger person, and they're talking about Iran, and they were born in Tehran, and would they ever want to go back? And they can't go back now because their papers from Iran their gender no longer matches.
Right.
Their original birth papers or their citizens' papers. I don't even know what Iranian papers are at this point. Just papers, just in general papers. And there's that journey as well of kind of like losing a sense of nationality or
national
home.
identity,
right. But they don't do anything with that at all either.
No, and they do bring up some stuff about race and trans.
Right.
So some of the trans men they talk to are Black or Asian American, and so they do talk about this and how that's another kind of transition that they have to make, or something that they have to also feel like they have to disclose or reckon with, right? Look, I mean, I think the key thing about this documentary is listening to these men talk about how they find themselves through their body, right? How they become comfortable with their body after transitioning, and how that leads to an acceptance of their own body, but then how other people react to their body also allows them to grow and discover more about themselves. And as they, as they're becoming who they want to become.
Right.
And yet that stuff is really, really powerful, really fascinating. But again, there's no center to this film. There's no real sort of thing that everything attaches itself to. And I think, not to say that everything has to have a point, but a film like this needs a point, right? Like what is I know it's not a polemic, but at the same time, like, what's the quote-unquote argument in this film?
Yeah.
And I think they missed a trick with the Larry Sullivan stuff. So, Larry Sullivan was a trans man in the 80s and 90s, right? Was an activist, and kind of what chronicled his journey with a doctor. I don't know their whole story, but I mean, from that. But that could have been the center there, and it came in too late in the film, right? I mean, we were introduced to Larry Sullivan too late in the film, and then they didn't do enough with it to then kind of connect everything together, which I have to assume was the original intent, or at some point was the intent.
Yeah.
Because if not, then
why?
And even one guy was like, Larry Sullivan's my transcestor.
Right.
Which I thought is a clever sort of play on words.
Right.
But then it's like, okay, well, that should have been a through line throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, all of them should have had some sort of tie back, or at least been influenced by, or knew about them. Like,
and if they weren't speaking to it, then the filmmakers should have made that connection for us.
Right. And then, they try to do that with the narrative thread, like that. Our Iranian kind of storyteller in this case had ties back to me, although he'd either forgotten about it or...
Well, he was in it, somehow he was in a picture
with him, right?
But then, like, when the video's playing, he doesn't know who it is.
Right.
So that was strange. I mean, I understand. I think the picture's trying to make that metaphorical transcestor sort of thing clear, but...
It's a weird movie.
I think it's too bad too that.
Yeah, it's too bad that the really good stuff in this film, which is listening to these men tell their stories, and tell their different stories, and show what kind of again, what the transition looks like for a bunch of different people and how it's different for everyone. I think those conversations are extremely important.
Yeah.
And
the things they have to deal with. So it's not, the
even within their own community,
exactly,
right?
Exactly. So going into a bathhouse is not the same for everyone.
Right.
So these men have to, in some way, or like right up front, disclose the fact that some of them, still have female genitalia.
Right.
Which, I mean, is not an easy thing to do. I mean, it's hard enough, like just talking to like someone you're attracted to, and not having to sort of explain,
right,
or feel like you need to, clarify or classify,
draw a diagram of how everything works. Like,
right. So here's the deal. Okay, when you remove my towel, you may be surprised,
right?
But
yeah, it's. I mean, like I said, I think that stories were powerful.
Yeah.
I think the film was a mess. And it's unfortunate that a lot of it's going to get lost because you're trying to wrap your head around a really bad narrative. I think I think the synopsis is. I don't necessarily know if the filmmakers gave that synopsis to DIFF or if DIFF it has to be the that way, right? I mean,
and I want to make kind of clear that we're not complaining about the film because of the synopsis. Like, I would have seen.
No.
I would have seen this film like regardless. I mean, give me the right synopsis, I'd still probably be interested in going to see it. Right. Because I think these are conversations that we're not having, and especially in the year of our Lord 2024, we are constantly putting out like anti-trans legislation. Right. I mean, I think trans people, and especially young trans people, are at risk, right? At risk of being in danger if they're not already in danger.
Right. I mean, it's 12% commit, at least attempt self-harm.
Yeah.
The rhetoric and the legislation just gives.
I mean, it's hate speech.
It just gives credence to those who want to then demean and act violent towards them and treat them as others.
Yeah.
And it's sickening.
It's fucking terrible. And so I think like films like these are really, conversations like he's hearing from these men is really important and really vital, I think, to society right now.
I would recommend people watching the film. We're criticizing it on a film basis, right?
On technical aspects, really,
right?
Because I think the material and the content is there. I just don't think it's put together all that well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. So, all right, and our second film was a film that Brock was going to try to see earlier in the festival, but it had a technical difficulty. So the last film we saw was a film called Cuckoo. It's going to be. It should make the theaters. It's going to be.
It's coming out in August.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah,
It's a neon film. It's a horror film, and so we are treated
Wait, this is interesting. I mean, this is an interesting tie-in because Hunter Schafer stars.
Right, true.
And so we have a trans woman starring.
That's true, right? Yes. And so, Hunter Schafer from Euphoria, this is their first starring role. It is about a family that's moving to
figure this one out.
a German resort out in kind of a remote resort, and they're moving there because they're helping the resort owner build an additional resort in that same area. So he's brought them out to Germany and is housing them there, but their young daughter Gretchen has, well, she's not necessarily young, she's almost 18. You understand that this family is it's her father, but her stepmother and stepsister, and her stepsister can't speak,
and we find out that her mother has just died.
Right.
Which is why she's with
her dad. She used to be living with her mom. And then, of course, as we get there, Gretchen doesn't want to be there. She takes a job at the resort. All these weird things start happening. There's a woman that is chasing. She works nights, or she has worked nights. There's a woman that's chasing her. And it's basically, then we just try to figure out what the fuck is going on. There's
loud noises.
There's loud noises. There's a lot of shaking of the screen, and then things happen multiple times over and over and over again. Cause a kind of time loop, essentially. And there was one jump scare that made me curse out loud. I did not expect the woman to be on one side of the screen and then all of a sudden be on the other side of the screen. I don't know why it fucked with me so badly. It was just weird because I was like, okay, she's on the screen and I'm dealing with this. Oh no, she's over there. Oh, fuck, shit.
Like I said, I really thought you were asleep. And just woke up at that point, oh my god.
No, and when Gretchen's on the bike and the woman is running next to her, and then all of a sudden she's behind her, I was grasping my my candy box because oh shit, that was good. That was
good though. I thought there were some cool shots in this.
Yeah, and the creature that's in this movie is made up in an interesting way. She's got these big kind of 50s sunglasses on.
And these red eyes.
Yes, that kind of go through the sunglasses. Yeah. Her mouth moves in an unnatural way. It gets large. It gets too large.
It's like a snake unhinging its jaw.
Yeah. And she makes this horrific noise.
It's so bad.
I thought Hunter was great. I did too. She was just awesome in it. She portrays the role just perfectly.
And it's a different role she plays it differently than she plays Jules on Euphoria. So because I don't know if you worry, but you don't want to see an angsty teen play another angsty teen role the same way. Right.
Yeah. No, I dug this movie a lot. I thought it was a lot of. I don't think it's not awesome. It's not the greatest film I've ever seen or anything like that. But the premise is kind of half baked. By the time you find out what they're doing, they don't really done. I wanted more monologuing from the villain.
Okay.
Just because we're so used to that.
Yeah.
I wanted a more nefarious plan behind the cuckoo. So, and if you know what cuckoos do, you kind of get this. You can kind of extrapolate what the premise is. So that was part of it. We all kind of knew what was going on.
Sure.
From a perspective of X is happening to these women at this place.
Yeah, pretty soon, okay, they're being impregnated somehow.
Right.
And then you see it happening. You're like, okay, I get it. Yeah.
So I kind of wanted a more rather than just having a unexplained reason why they were actually doing this, and it seemed like they're doing it to make a master race of monsters, or they're trying to breed
preservation,
or some sort of Island of Dr. Moreau type of not the crossbreeding type of thing, but some sort of megalomaniacal evil man who is just caught up in his own Jurassic Park kind of world that he's building these weird people. These weird creatures.
Because he did find a cuckoo frozen in amber
right, and extracted her eggs.
Yeah.
So I wanted a little bit of monologuing before we end up having, a great big shootout and a confrontation.
Right.
But I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty well done. Like I said, it didn't really quite come to full fruition, but like there was enough in it that I was like, oh shit, this is tense the entire fucking time.
Yeah, it is. It is tense the entire time, and I mean, there isn't a lot of downtime in this movie,
right?
And it's just over an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Right. Like 107 minutes or something. So, like it's, but it just goes. And you're just kind of constantly, like you said, grabbing onto your candy box. Like when's this thing going to pop out next? Have you ever wonder why like there are so many kind of horror films that could just be resolved if people just sat down and talked to each other?
Right. If their dads weren't huge pricks,
right.
That actually believed their daughters when they said we're being chased.
Maybe sort of took a step back and said, okay, so you've been living with your mother after we divorced and she just died. Maybe I should try to be kinder.
Right.
Maybe I should try to, give you the attention that you need, not blame you for everything.
Right. Rather than doting on this daughter that looks nothing like me and is clearly not.
It's clearly from a bird.
Right.
Yes.
This
is clearly a bird kid. Well, they didn't give Jessica Henwick much to do.
No, it's unfortunate.
Which is a bummer. Right. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she's really good.
I was really sad about that.
Yeah, I definitely think there's areas where this film could have been better.
Yeah.
And like, we do focus so much on Hunter's character, like it feels like there could be more. And like you get the cop, the rogue cop coming in to kind of try to figure it. You don't really get a full explanation of what happens to him either. I don't want to talk myself out of not liking this movie.
No.
I did,
but I think these are sort of like nitpicky things too, right? I mean, they don't look. I mean, I think we can forgive a lot of this and still sort of point it out and question it. I mean, like the kind of love interest that disappears for most of the film, but then pops away at the end, like just in time. I understand why that character's there, but I mean, does she need to disappear? And do they need to sort of like jump down each other's throats right away?
Right.
Which, I mean, because that's like, hey, I mean, she stays one night in the hotel and she's like, let's go to Paris. And I mean, I guess if you're Hunter Schafer, you're like, yeah, I want to get out of here anyway. But that just seems kind of, I mean, look, in the past, I was pretty fast, but not like that fast. I mean, like,
I did think the car crash was cool. I thought there's a lot of like really visually interesting things in this film. I think the monster's good too. I think the monster was genuinely scary and well done, like and not overdone. And so I think this will play well in August.
At the theaters. Yeah, I'm glad we got to see it so early.
And it's clean for. I mean, like for not being released until August. I'm sure they're trying to get closer to Halloween, right, or whatever.
Right.
But like,
and they've been talking about it for a long time. And I know that they were like running trailers and stuff. So yeah. And I think this will be one that I'll want to go see again too.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely would want to support it. So, I don't have really. I mean, like it's a horror film. There's not much to dig into, really. Like it's not like there's not like there's the thematic bullshit to it. There's nothing there. Like it's not like this is going to.
They're really, yeah. I mean, I look. I'm sure that we can sit here and probably figure something out with like reproductive rights in terms of like digging into sort of like
it's been a good year for that. Actually,
or kind of. I mean, films about reproductive rights, or just like in general. Because
no. I mean, just for films regarding that, like, it's not been a good year for reproductive. When has it ever been a good year for reproductive rights?
I don't.
74 when R.V. Wade was actually passed at some point.
But even then, even then,
the fucking sequences where where the baby monsters are extracting their eggs.
I know.
It's fucking creepy as
It really is.
Like,
I mean, this is a creepy. I mean, it's a creepy movie, right?
Yeah.
The movements, the viscosity
right
in this movie.
And there's just some cool sequences. I when the cop goes into the cabin and is like shooting at the baby monster, and like he has a towel wrapped around his gun, and the towel catches on fire.
Yeah.
I kept thinking that something bad was going to happen really bad was going to happen to Trixie. Like she was going to like catch on fire because she held the hair dryer too close to her. There's a sequence in what they call the love nest. The love nest, yeah. And it's this girl who's like trying to seduce this policeman, and she's sitting there. When the cuckoo monster makes the noise, it kind of paralyzes everyone, and she has this hair dryer like on her curly ass hair.
Right.
And I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be bad. She's gonna like something's gonna start smoking.
I think the best thing to come out of this is just hearing you say cuckoo monster.
Which is the official term for it, for sure.
Do you notice the dog never came back?
Yeah, what the hell happened to the dog?
So there's this great looking dog that pops out of the car at the beginning of the film, and I turn to you and say, anything fucking happens to that dog, and then it just disappears.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's fine, but like, man, like,
right.
just like never shows up again.
Yeah, I do think this movie could have spent more time in the details. Like, there's a lot of like, there's like the doctor that is helping with the experiments, kind of like comes in and comes out. There's a lot of characters that kind of pop in and pop back out. Wow, good on you for seeing that person, because I did not. We're going to be really screaming while driving because there was just somebody walking the street.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think this is what will stop this from being like an all-time great.
Yeah.
Is that they're missing some pieces, but I do, I'll go see Cuckoo 2 or like whatever it's going to be called. Like,
Cuckoo. Cuckoo Choo.
Right, Cuckoo 2.
It'll just be called I Am the Walrus.
Yeah,
just that.
Cuckoo 2.
Cuckoo 2. Yeah.
And keep an eye out for August. And so are we still saying Solo's the best thing that we saw?
I think so.
But I think hands down.
So.
Like,
I think across the board, everything in that film, I think is the best. It wins my, I don't know, Wilhelm Grand Jury Prize, whatever.
Yeah, for sure. Right.
So, Sophie Dupuis.
Hang on, there's a thing. Oh, it's a bag. Sorry, I thought
bag? It's not a person.
I was thinking it was either a cat or a small dog. So I was like, speaking of things we don't want to run over.
Yeah.
It's just the fucking cuckoo woman.
It's Cuckoo Monster.
Reaching out. She's the cuckoo monster reaching out for us.
No, Solo for sure is my winner.
And then so what's number 2?
Probably either TV Glow or We Strangers.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, no, I think, I would put those two together.
And then for me, I think Elektra is after that.
Yeah, I'd still put Elektra. I mean, that, and then probably Cuckoo at that point. And then I think we saw, for me, the Dead Don't Hurt, probably because it's above Harsh Treatment, and on the eighth day is the worst thing we saw.
Yeah. Wait, we forgot the idea of you. Where do we put the idea of you? Tied with Cuckoo?
Yeah, I guess tied with Cuckoo. Or slightly below Cuckoo.
Or slightly below Cuckoo.
But here's the thing. The first hour and 30 of the idea of you, I put it at number 2.
I know. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. I mean, you're not wrong.
That goddamn movie, man.
I'm going to go watch it again now that it's streaming on Prime.
Yeah, I recommend Screamers go out on Amazon. Is it Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Or is it Hulu? Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
I think it's out in theaters too.
Yeah, because I saw some. I don't know if you. I saw somebody had a recording of it, so that was.
That's right.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to explain myself, but there was a recording of it. I don't partake, but I
don't partake in cam shows.
Right? Yeah. No, I don't. I can't abide that. When I was over in Afghanistan, this is getting weird non sequitur, but when I was over in Afghanistan, every installation had like these locals that would sell you goods. So, they were mostly like toiletries and things like that you would need, but also you could get like local snacks. But they always had DVDs for sale, and most of them would be like first run cam recordings at theater. And those guys would be cool. They'd be like, hey, yeah, this one's not very good. You can't watch it. Like don't buy this one. And they were like $2-3 a piece.
Yeah.
They were nothing to buy. You could buy like entire series of like shows, and they were all pirated. It was crazy.
That's
software you could buy, like it's just. But yeah, these guys would come to like. They either would have like kind of like a swap meet type thing, or they'd be like stationed right outside the base, and these guys would just and they would just burn DVDs all day long, basically. So,
what a job!
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then sell you stuff.
Yeah, pirated copy of Fast X.
Yeah, I was over there.
Before that,
right?
yeah.
Way before that. But yeah, it's
Tokyo Drift.
Yeah, it was definitely Tokyo Drift time.
The cam recording of Tokyo Drift.
The double feature that we're going to show at the film club is Tokyo Drift and then Tokyo Drifter back to back.
And that just focuses on Bow Wow story.
Yeah. Justice for Bow Wow. Why didn't Bow Wow show up in Fast 11? I mean,
what's
we
up
need
with that?
Everyone else has shown up. Everyone else, all the main characters have shown up. I do think we need Justice for Bow Wow. And I think we need to somehow. Well, I guess Eva Mendes never shows back. Like she shows up in a stinger, and then that's basically.
Oh, that's right.
She's the one who shows Letty that Letty's still alive, basically.
Wait, she doesn't show back up?
No, she's not up. She's never in a movie after 2 again.
We haven't seen the last one. Just had like Gal Gadot pop out of a submarine, right?
Oh, did it? Shit, I can't remember that.
Was that the last one? I think so.
If Fast X did not stick.
That's how that ended. I feel like.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So Finn drove off a thing in fire with his kid. This fucking stupid kid.
Yeah, his kid is dumb.
So dumb. Right?
I need to go watch Fast 10 again.
And then I think because Letty and Charlize Theron break out, and then Gal Gadot just pops up and starts singing Imagine.
Right. She's got the Red Notice vodka. She's drinking it out of one of those big hats that has the 2 beer cans on it. She's got 2 bottles of red. What fucking movie was it that had all the fucking product placement? Oh, that was The Beast. Never mind.
Yeah,
that's another movie we didn't see it. We saw it tonight. We didn't know. I wanted to talk about that too. We'll talk about that on the next episode.
Yeah, we'll save that for the non-driving version of the podcast. Just the regular screaming.
And I need to watch Fast 10 again because
you don't.
No, but I like Momoa in that one. I think that's what saves Fasten is that Momoa is having so much fun being in that movie. Yeah, it sucks, but no, Eva Mendes never shows back up. Cole Hauser, they should have brought Cole Hauser back somehow.
Didn't he die? I thought they killed him.
No. He's like, I'm going to get out of jail. He's like, when he gets out of jail, he's going to come after us, right?
Wait,
he's like,
that's right.
He ain't getting out of jail, is he? And then he's just he's got his arm in a sling, and he's just laughing. Jesus, that scared the shit. I got to go to bed. Fucking cuckoo monsters. I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight.
All right, man. That's our...
A bag just flew by the car. A black bag. And it was look, that was fucking genuinely scary, all right? It's a bad neighborhood. I live in a bad neighborhood. Shit can happen on the street. Fuck that bag. Fuck the cuckoo monster. Christ almighty. What the fuck is going on?
I'm actually crying. So this has been our 6 days of DIFF recap. I hope next year to see all of you guys at the
at the festival. Door. I want you to watch till I get up there. If the fucking bitch grabs me.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna run. I'll see you guys later.
Talk to you later. Have a good weekend.
You have been listening to Why Does the Wilhelm Scream with your hosts, Brock and Jason. If you liked today's episode, do us a favor and rate, review, and subscribe in whatever application you use to consume podcasts these days. You can reach us by visiting whydoesthewilhelmscream.com. If you are in the DFW area, we would love to see you at a Fort Worth Film Club event. You can learn more about those and find a full schedule at fortworthfilmclub.com. And you can learn about my foundation and how we are trying to foster the next generation of film lovers at realhousefoundation.org. That's REEL housefoundation.org. Till next time,